diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Ryan Neuzil, who's an offensive lineman out of Appalachian State. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good today.
Great, man. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to Appalachian State? Tell me first where you're from.
I'm from Bradenton, Florida. I went to high school at Braden River. And in high school, I played tight end, DN, and punter, kind of helping the team out any way I could. Appalachian State came to me midway through my senior year and decided to offer me a scholarship. And then once I got up there on an official visit and saw the campus, I really just fell in love and haven't looked back since. College, I moved into center is what they recruited me for, gained some weight. The first year was basically just to gain weight, get stronger, learn the scheme of things and get down to what it is to play center. Redshirted my first year. And then my second year, my redshirt freshman year, didn't start at first. I was playing backup center role. About midway through the season, we had some trouble at left guard. And Clark at the time, offensive line coach, decided to slide me over and give me a shot at left guard versus ULM Monroe. And ever since then, it's kind of been my spot. And then started 44 games straight and finished my career there.
Yeah, man, that's a ton of experience on the offensive line. I mean, these days, getting over 40 starts is definitely a feat for sure. Also have in my notes, you were named first team all conference by PFF for the past 2 years. Those are some great accomplishments there. So yeah, I mean, being that starter at left guard, I do have you listed in my notes about 6'3", 300 pounds, which is a decent size for an interior lineman. What do you believe is like your best attribute as a player coming into the league?
I would think my best attribute is my field IQ, being able to, one, get in the film room, but just being able to recognize plays when they happen, defensive schemes, fronts, things that they're doing to kind of throw us off our game. That's one of the main things that's helped me in college. And also just, I mean, my experience at play, just being able to react to things and being able to just move fluently throughout the whole play.
That's great, man. I mean, obviously, tons of experience against a lot of people, really, because I mean, it's not just guys in the Sun Belt, but I mean, usually you get teams that try to make the Sun Belt teams maybe the whipping boy for like these Power Five schools, and sometimes they get what's coming to them because I mean, you guys aren't to be trifled with for sure. So, hey Ryan, in my notes, I actually see that you had a fairly decent pro day. Let me see here. 5.07 40 40-yard dash, 4.55 short shuttle, 7.38 3-cone, and you were able to bench that 225 30 times, which I think that's a great achievement there. Tell me just a little bit about that pro day. Do you feel like you accomplished what you set out to do? I mean, how did you feel about that pro day overall?
I felt really good about it. My 40 and my L cone were PRs for me, so that was really good. Short shuttle was a little slower than I wanted. We only had one attempt, so that was kind of a bummer. And then bench was solid for me. It was a good run. Not the best I could have done, but I was more than happy with it.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I mean, but what about the drills that you went out there and did? I mean, did you do drill work like when during your pro day?
Yes, I got put through a bunch of drills in front of the scouts. It wasn't what I was given for like a list to practice, so that was kind of threw me off, but they were pretty simple self-taught drills, so it wasn't anything hard to pick up on the run.
So did they practice you at center a little bit? I mean, did you practice snapping the ball some? Because I mean, I know it's been a while.
Yes, I played center my final year, a few games, just kind of rotating in. But I did snap at my pro day, kind of just making sure they knew I could snap, work that in a little bit.
Cool. So I mean, it's nice to have that as part of your repertoire. So hey, this guy can be a guard or center. So I think that that's great. Hey, do you see yourself as a leader out there on the football field? I mean, are you the kind of guy that could be there at center, kind of leading the team? Tell me about you as a leader on the football field.
I mean, I definitely see myself as more of a field leader, weight room leader instead of a vocal leader. I'm one that tends to lead through actions and someone you could always count on to do the right thing. This past year, I mean, it was kind of deadly. We had basically a 2 center offensive line. Even at left guard, I was helping out the center. He didn't need the help, but just giving my input sometimes, kind of helping out around. And it's just really good to know that you have 2 people up front and just someone that you can count on.
And how does somebody lead in the weight room? I mean, you said that you're a leader, out there, again by example in the weight room. But I mean, how do you lead in the weight room? Do you just do you lead like because you lift the most or what?
Yeah, no, it's not always about just lifting the most and just being like a meathead in there, but just basically like you always going to do the right thing. Like even the little things after the workout, kind of just picking up the loose dumbbells, just always someone that's doing the right thing and just always someone that is, that you can count on.
So I mean, it sounds as if, and I mean, again, I don't necessarily want to put words in your mouth, but I mean, a guy that's willing to do the dirty work. I mean, obviously you got people that, maybe don't pick up after themselves, and so you're just kind of saying, you know what, this is what I'm doing. You guys should probably end up doing the same. I mean, if somebody needs a spotter, I'm there. Just kind of setting the tone, I guess, as to what people should do, whether it is in that weight room or on the field. I think that that's cool. Um, you said that one of your best attributes is your IQ out there on the field. So I want you to chat a little bit about how maybe you have studied film over the years, and maybe give an example of how you studying a team or player really played out in a game time situation. Go ahead, kind of lead me through your film room study.
So when I look at film, I look at the scheme itself, what they do, like if a safety's low, if backers are bumped over to the right, what they tend to bring as a defense to try to stop our scheme. And then I also tend to look at the individuals, what their moves are and how they react to play certain situations they're against. So you could see that they have a spin move when they're beat inside. They counter with like a club rip, and you can kind of diagnose who you're going against and what you can expect. And one example of that is when we were playing Coastal Carolina, one of their interior offensive linemen, I noticed, had a really good spin move. Being past, he was beating people with it, and he was getting a lot of disruption up front with it. So I was kind of ready for it, and I didn't let it phase me in that game. And then another thing with the scheme is when I played Louisiana Lafayette this past year, I noticed when their backers were bumped one way and kind of close that they're going to bring an able blitz up the middle, and I was able to seal it off. And then we gashed them for like a 35-yard run up the middle because they were all just out of place, and they just left the front side B gap wide open.
Cool. So I mean, a couple good examples, for people to see you actually, diagnosing, what's going on out there and adjusting to it, so that you guys can, really, just capitalize and get some yardage out there on the field. What's been your most memorable moment? I know that you've had some great games. What's been your most memorable moment as a football player to date?
I would say probably beating the Carolinas. Both games were to the wire at the end, came down real close. We beat North Carolina, and luckily we were able to finish the game on a high note. We had a blocked field goal that was makeable, so that was really nice to end on. And then South Carolina, we had them down to the wire with a 5-point lead, and they threw basically like a jump ball in the corner end zone. It was incomplete. So I mean, both those came down to the end, and they were very exciting games to be a part of.
Cool. They need to have like they need to have like a Carolina championship so you guys can hoist that up. I mean, because I mean, obviously being out there, you
Oh
guys.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, out in your town. I mean, you got these big name people, that you gotta, travel to that they expect to get one over on you, and haha on them because they weren't able to get it done. So, Ryan, I wanted you to, I don't know, maybe give your younger self just a tidbit of advice. I mean, if we were able to go back in time and talk to maybe your younger, like 17-year-old self, what sort of advice might you give him to prepare him for college?
I would definitely say just be accepting to change. I mean, going into college, I was playing tight end, defensive end, didn't really play offensive line at all. A little bit. I think I was actually center in 7th grade, but that was really it. And just being accepting to change. When I first got to school, it was kind of hard for me to switch over. It didn't really feel fluent, but just being able to adapt to it, and even playing center, moving to left guard just on a week's notice. I mean, it was just something, and it was one of the best decisions for me.
So were you undersized coming in? I mean, how big were you coming into college?
Coming into college, I was about 245. I put
Okay,
on
now.
going in. Yeah, I wasn't big at all. But I mean, by the time I got in the field, my redshirt freshman year, I was about 2.
So you said 26. What was it again? 265. 270. Okay. Sorry, it's just breaking up a little bit with the connection, but hey, some people gain that freshman 15, some people gain that freshman 40. So I understand, exactly how that goes. But I mean, hey, I mean, you came into college as a little boy, 240 pounds, and you're leaving a 300-pound, man, fixing to go into the pros. So with a lot of accolades and wins to boot, and really going out there and showing people, what you can do. I do want to take a minute, step off the football field a little bit, and allow you really just to share who you are outside of sports. Who is Ryan Neuzil outside of a football player? I mean, what are some things that you're into that you want to share?
Well, I mean, one of the main things is recently at the later year of my college career, I've taken up golfing. It's one of the only things I'm probably not really good at. So it's very frustrating to me that I'm just not good at golf right now. And that's one thing I hope to change, but it's very hard. And then, I mean, I'm just kind of like a fun, outgoing guy. I mean, at school, we'd always like head down to the river. That was our place just to like hang out, or maybe go on a hike, see some like overlooks, look at the mountains, things like that. Just kind of always want to be like outdoors doing stuff. I don't want to be cooped up in the house.
Cool. And what was your major there at Appalachian State? I mean, have you graduated already?
Yes, I graduated in this December with a construction management degree.
Cool. So, I mean, hypothetically, like, if there's no football, I mean, what sort of plan would you have, with that degree moving forward?
Well, before COVID hit, I had a internship with this company, Core Construction, and they built schools all around the area. And probably if football doesn't pan out, I'll go back there, try to get a real job instead of an internship, and then just work from there. Really just want to I just don't want to be cooped up in a desk all day.
Yeah, well, kudos to you for that. I mean, it's kind of what I've been doing. So, I mean, obviously, not as much of an athlete as you, even though I am a little smaller. Yeah, so kudos to you for getting out there and really, trying to stay active. I think a lot of people, it's very hard these days with being stuck inside with quarantine and what have you to really do that. Again, you from Sarasota, Florida. What's so special about your hometown, man? Like, is there something there that like we would have to go see? Like, if I had, if I came down there like for a visit.
Oh yeah, we have the best beaches. That's for sure. We have Siesta Key, which I think recently was like #2 in the nation. We even have an MTV show down here about it. It's literally called Siesta Key. I mean, we're
Nice.
known for just a vacation spot where you want to relax. The beaches here are amazing. Some good seafood, just on the water.
Cool. Well, I mean, obviously one of those places that is kind of synonymous with like going on a vacation. I mean, you're right there down in Florida, excellent weather, most of the time. So yeah, I mean, great stuff there. I do want to give you the opportunity, real quick, just to give a shout out to some people that have really helped you a lot along the way. Whether it be family, friends, coaches, teammates. Um, Give us maybe a handful of people that mean a lot to you, that you want to give some love to.
I mean, first it'd have to be my parents. And they, even through COVID, they were able to travel to almost every single away game and home game. And they really just made it work. Anything they had to do to come see me play, they did. And I mean, it's just so nice, their support behind me. And also my, I guess, head coach, Coach Clark. He was my O-line coach for 4 years, and then took over as head coach in my final year. It was really nice to see him rewarded for being such a good person and coach for the team. And then probably my first strength coach. He's a little crazy, but he kind of toughened me up, especially when I first got in there. It really made me into the player who I am today. That's Mike Siriano. He's at Louisville now. And it was just really good getting to know all them.
Cool. So I mean, you always got to have that one crazy guy to push you. So I think it's cool that a lot of those people that you mentioned have moved on and have moved up and have gotten rewarded for really doing a great job. Um, I try always to ask guys the why question. So hit me with your why, man. Why do you play football? Maybe why you started, why you play now? What's your motivation?
I mean, I've played football ever since I could walk, basically. Started with flag, then moved into Pop Warner football. And at this point, I just can't see myself without it. My why is basically just to continue playing the game I love. I can't see myself quitting this sport so soon, and really just wanted to stretch it out and continue it as long as I can.
Well, I mean, definitely we want to keep you playing. I mean, we want to get your name out there. Tell all those scouts out there like who you are. And that's really like the last thing I really want to give you the opportunity to do, and that is to give your pitch to all 32 NFL teams out there. Maybe why they should take a chance on you and sign you. Give them your pitch as to why they should do that.
I would say if you get me, you're getting a player that, I mean, gives you your all on the field, just always accountable, will watch the film, know what's going on, won't take the easy route, and will just give it your all. I mean, you see on my film that I'm kind of always in the right spot. I know what's going on. I know what the defense is doing before they even call it most of the time. And then just, I give it my all. I'm always pushing to the last play. The amount of personal fouls I've gotten against me from just hitting someone right when the whistle blows and they just punch right back. It's quite a bit, actually. We always used to joke about it, but I'm always just hitting people in the mouth until I can. Never really any dirty stuff, but just always playing to the whistle and always playing hard.
Yeah, I mean, from all the guys that I talk to, it's like, football is one of those sports where like you can get away with punching somebody in the mouth and not get taken to jail. So, as long as you could do that, I think it's great. And again, I mean, like you said, I mean, there's a lot that you can bring to a football team. I mean, again, we talk about your experience. I mean, starting 44, games, along that offensive line. I mean, mostly of which at left guard, but I mean, some experience at center too. Very disciplined guy. very very gritty kind of player, willing to do the dirty work, set an example for others around him. I mean, I think that you offer a whole lot to a football team that just kind of needs to give you the chance. So um, Ryan, I wish you best of luck moving forward, man. I know you got a lot going on. I know you got more interviews to get to. So I mean, hopefully, people get see this video and give you that chance. But again, best of luck to you moving forward.
Thank you very much for having me on here.
Sure. Again, Ryan Neuzil, offensive lineman out of Appalachian State. Definitely check him out.